Disclaimer: expletives included and all affiliated do not own anything in this video. Please support the official releases. I will put links down to all the actual releases, and an apology for any mispronunciation that is shown in this video. Much love, the Brayne. This is the Brayne's Anime Fun Time. I'm your host, the Brayne, welcoming you to my show. A show about anime. What else? I'm going to be doing a weekly discussion, review, and general my thoughts about an anime, because that's what the internet really needs, is another fat man giving his thoughts on the internet. I'm going to be touching on genres of all kinds, from slice of life to horror to everything in between. And no, before you ask internet, because I know what you're thinking, dirty. Not going to be doing that. I'll do anything for anime, but I won't review that. What? This first episode is gonna be discussing an anime that's very close to my heart. It's an anime by the name of Beck, Mongolian Shop Squad. Oh. Yeah. It was shown to me fairly early in my anime watching career. Me sat on a couch watching anime, and I took a shine to it instantly. It's in the genre of music anime, and the manga was originally written by a guy called Harold Sakayushi. And I apologise straight off the bat. The pronunciation of Japanese names is probably not going to be my forte. I can see you already writing, Brayne, that's not how you pronounce it. And I'm like, calm yourself. I am but a simple dyslexic Englishman. I do not know how to pronounce these names. I will leave links down in this general area to places where you can get the actual pronunciations and full names of things. And the anime was directed by, here's a fun one, Osamu Kabayashi. Yeah. And was distributed by Studio Madhouse. It had an original run dates of October the 6th, 2004. A very good year, if I might mind you. Okay, yeah. To March 30th, 2005. It had a 26 episode span. Quite short for anime, but often the best ones are, because I've often found the shorter the anime, the more story that they're packed in. It's a very good little gem of an anime. I'll introduce the main characters now for you. Give you a rundown of them. Your main character goes by the name of Kyuki, and he's your basic protagonist. He's doesn't know where he's gonna go, thinks the world doesn't notice him, just general 14-year-old angst. That is, until he's introduced to music, particularly a band by the name of Dying Breed, which plays a very, very important role in this show. And through that is introduced to a boy by the name of Ryusuke, which will later be the lead guitarist of the band. And Ryusuke is kind of this sort of older brother sort of character to Kiyuki, and is kind of, so when you're in like year 7 and you look up to the year 11s and like you have decent music, what is this you show me? It is that's the exact situation. It's the best you describe it. And so through that, and Ryusuke gifting upon Kiyuki a guitar, pushing him in to discover what music can be and how it can unlock things in your life. And the next character we are introduced to in episode 3 is a character by the name of Tyra. Tyra is probably my favourite character in this show. Mind you, when I was younger, it was probably because he played the bass guitar, and he's the bassist of the band. And he plays this sort of very calm steady element of the band, whereas Kiyuki's kind of new and skittish and like new things, and Ryusuke's kind of like full pelts, like I want to be the best, I don't care what it takes, I don't care what we have to sacrifice, I want to be the best there ever was. All the Pokemon, he's basically a Pokemon master. But that aside, Tyra kind of brings this sort of very laid back sort of vibe. You could say a very funky vibe, because he's a bass player. Yeah. I'll leave. But no, I won't, because there's another character to introduce. Yippee! This guy is Chiba, the lead singer and rapper of the band. I use the word rapper very loosely. He's a really funny character. He kind of plays the comic relief of this show, but then again, he doesn't. It's weird. He is, because he's a very funny character. He's a very funny written character. But then it kind of brings this tragic, so not tragic, sad, yeah, lack of a better word, backstory of why he like that, why he's angry, and why he's so much wants to be the centre of attention, why he's the front man that he is. And then it also brings in very into focus this sort of underlying thread that goes through the entire anime, which is that music is important, and that the discovering of music in your young life can shape you to what you are. Like, the sort of music that if you discover your favourite band at 14, you may not be into them when you're 25, but that discovering it kind of like leads on to other things and shapes. And it's all this intertwining thing, very well written. But that kind of finishes off the first members of the band that are introduced. Because last but not least, is the drummer. And he goes by the name of Saku. And he's the same age as Kyuki, and kind of is Kyuki's best friend, and the only one in the band that understands what he's going through. And when Ryusuke is like, come on, get that chord right, we need to do this. Saku's the character that takes Kyuki aside and is like, look man, let's go get a drink. Let's just calm down for a second. Just calm it down for a second. We'll do this, don't worry. He's a very laid back character. He's kind of, whereas Tyra's this steadying vibe throughout the thing that kind of keeps Ryusuke's level down, Saku kind of acts as this sort of buffer for Kyuki, especially this sort of like this rock. And yeah, it's the rhythm section. It's the bass and drums. It's the important parts of any band. And they're your characters. So now I'm going to go with my thoughts. And can I find any negatives with this? Well, of course there are negatives, because nothing's perfect. Some of the bits in the animation are a little bit kind of spotty. I don't know the correct word thing, but other than that, there's not really any. Maybe I'm biased because I just love this anime so much, but probably. But yeah, I'm sure if I sat down and picked over it with a fine tooth comb and was like, oh, this mouth flap is slightly off center to this thing, and I'm like, nah, I'm not one of those reviewers. I love those, like, because some of them are fantastic, but I'm not one of those reviewers that's like, his eyebrow was slightly raised in a different thing. That was, the artist should have his hand chopped off. No, the animation was unique. I really liked it. Other than the few little spots, it kind of had this sort of, you could very much tell, hand drawn and very, very sort of similar to the actual style of the manga artist himself, which is a really nice little touch. And then the writing is just weird enough. I know it sounds strange, but it kind of, little things you'll have to listen in the background for, little conversations that happen with the extras, and just kind of little nitpicky bits that the characters are talking about. It's really interesting, and yeah, so the writing's really something. The music, if you're into the sort of rock, metal, grunge, punk, all that sort of scene of music, then you'll really love this, because they hold reference and influence from a lot of big bands, like everything from Black Sabbath, the Beatles, to Nirvana, and I know that Tyra in particular holds there's a massive thing about Nirvana with him, and yeah, there's tons of references and homages to the greats of music, of rock and all that. So my final thoughts is, I'm going to give it my approval. and I think you all should give it a watch. I think you should all give it a watch, basically. And on that note, until next time, I've been your host, the Brayne. I'll see you next time.